Welcome to Delta History, where the battlefield speaks and the truth cuts through the fog of war. Tonight, we bring you a story that unfolds not on land, but on the restless waters of the Black Sea. It is a story that demonstrates how courage, innovation, and determination can overturn centuries of naval doctrine. This is the story of how the Ukrainian military, armed not with massive warships or billion-dollar fleets, but with ingenuity and unmanned drones, struck fear into the heart of the Russian Navy. It is the story of a single strike, when a Ukrainian drone found its target, a Russian patrol boat, and in doing so, revealed the new face of naval warfare in the 21st century. The Black Sea battlefield. For centuries, control of the Black Sea has meant power. From the empires of the Ottomans and the Tsars to the rivalries of the Cold War, fleets have clashed, and entire nations have risen or fallen depending on who commanded these waters. The Black Sea is not just a body of water. It is a highway for trade, a shield of defense, and a stage for influence. Whoever controls it can strangle economies, threaten cities, and shift the balance of entire regions. When Russia launched its invasion of Ukraine in 2022, the Black Sea once again became a critical front. Russia relied on its naval power to blockade ports, cut off vital supply routes, and project dominance deep into Europe's southern flank. From the massive warships stationed in Sevastopol to patrol boats prowling the coastlines, Russia believed its navy was untouchable. Ukraine, however, had no significant fleet left. Its navy had been crippled in 2014 when Russia annexed Crimea. Against a superior foe, conventional naval warfare was impossible. But in desperation, innovation was born. Their solution was simple yet revolutionary: drones. Just as aerial drones had shifted the nature of ground battles, so too could drones change the war at sea. Small, fast, and nearly invisible until it was too late, maritime drones became Ukraine's naval equalizer. The mission. It was late evening when Ukrainian operators prepared their strike. The target was a Russian patrol boat operating dangerously close to Ukraine's supply lanes in the western Black Sea. The boat was lightly armed but crucial to Russia's operations. Its task was to monitor shipping lanes, intercept small vessels, and enforce Moscow's blockade. The crew moved confidently across the waves, believing they were safe under the shadow of Russia's naval dominance. Far away, hidden inside a fortified shelter, Ukrainian controllers monitored their equipment. Before them were glowing screens that displayed a live feed from a maritime drone. The craft was no larger than a jet ski, carrying an explosive payload and remotely guided by satellite connection. Through its camera, the silhouette of the Russian patrol boat appeared on the horizon. The operators leaned forward, adjusting its course carefully. Every movement mattered. Every wave could expose or conceal the approach. Inside the command post, the tension was palpable. Hours of planning and preparation came down to these few moments. The drone skimmed across the waves, steady, relentless, and nearly silent. The operators exchanged nods. The time had come. The command was given. Attack. The strike. The Russian crew first noticed the disturbance too late. On radar, the drone barely registered. Its small size and low profile made it almost invisible to conventional detection. To the human eye, it appeared as nothing more than a dark speck bouncing with the waves. By the time the alarm was raised, the drone was already closing in. Russian sailors scrambled to their stations. Orders were shouted across the deck. Gun crews swung their weapons around, opening fire with small arms in desperation. Tracer fire streaked through the night, bullets striking the water and sparking off the surface. But the drone did not stop. Controlled with precision, it weaved through the spray, dodging fire, and continued its deadly approach. Each second that passed closed the gap between life and death. Then came the moment of impact. A blinding flash erupted as the drone slammed into the hull and detonated. The shockwave tore through the boat's side, ripping steel apart like paper. Fire and smoke shot into the air as debris rained down across the water. The deck erupted in chaos. Sailors were thrown from their posts. Alarms wailed as flames engulfed the vessel. Within moments, the patrol boat, once a symbol of Russia's control, was burning helplessly in the Black Sea. Its crew, in sheer desperation, abandoned ship, leaping into the cold, unforgiving water. The Russian Navy had suffered another humiliation. A vessel worth millions of dollars was destroyed by a drone costing a fraction of that amount. The aftermath. News of the successful strike spread rapidly across Ukraine. Within hours, footage from the drone's onboard camera appeared on social media. The world could see the approach, the frantic Russian gunfire, and the final, devastating explosion. For Ukrainians, it was a moment of triumph. Against overwhelming odds, their ingenuity had outmatched Russia's larger navy. For Russia, it was a moment of shame. Their patrol boat, designed to project power, had fallen to a craft so small it seemed laughable, until it exploded. Strategically, the strike was limited. It did not end the war. But symbolically, it was enormous. The illusion of Russian naval invincibility was shattered. If a small patrol boat could be destroyed, then what of larger ships? What of the cruisers, frigates, and amphibious vessels that Moscow relied upon to enforce its blockade? The Black Sea was no longer safe for Russia. Every patrol, every movement, every mission carried the risk of another unseen drone lurking just beyond the horizon. The symbolism of the strike. This single drone attack was more than a tactical episode. It was a demonstration of a shifting balance of military power. Technology over tradition. In the past, naval supremacy required battleships, aircraft carriers, and entire fleets. Power was measured in tonnage and firepower. Now, a drone worth less than a single missile could cripple those same fleets. Tradition had been overturned by technology. Psychological warfare. Russian sailors now lived under constant threat. Danger lurked everywhere, not just in the skies above, but on the waves below. Any patrol could end in fire and chaos. Fear gnawed at morale, eroding confidence with every mission. Cost efficiency. The economic imbalance was staggering. A Russian patrol boat cost millions to build, equip, and operate. A Ukrainian drone cost mere thousands. Every exchange was a financial disaster for Moscow. Losses could not be replaced as quickly as Ukraine could build new drones. Propaganda and influence. Every strike recorded and shared became more than just an attack. It was a message broadcast across the world. Ukraine was not powerless at sea. The footage inspired Ukrainians, reassured allies, and humiliated Russia in front of global audiences. The future of naval warfare. The strike on the Russian boat marked only the beginning of a wider transformation. Across the globe, military strategists took notice. If Ukraine could disable Russian ships with drones, what did that mean for the future of naval warfare? Would massive navies, long the pride of nations, soon be vulnerable to swarms of cheap, expendable craft? The answer, many believe, is yes. Maritime drones represent the democratization of naval warfare. They allow smaller nations to challenge superpowers, turning the oceans into battlefields where ingenuity trumps tradition. In the years to come, this single Ukrainian strike may be remembered as one of the first clear signals that naval warfare had entered a new era. An era where steel giants are no longer safe, and where the smallest vessel can carry the deadliest threat. The human side. Amid the strategy and symbolism, it is important not to forget the human side of this strike. On board the Russian boat, sailors faced sudden chaos. One moment they were patrolling in routine monotony, the next they were fighting for their lives. Alarms blared, flames spread, and the cold waters of the Black Sea became their only escape. For them, the drone was not a concept. It was a nightmare that arrived too fast to stop. For the Ukrainian operators, the experience was different. Far from the sea, they sat at screens in dimly lit rooms, guiding the drone like players in a video game. Yet they knew the stakes were deadly real. Their hands delivered both victory and destruction. Each keystroke and joystick movement carried the weight of lives and nations. This is the reality of modern war. Life and death decided by signals transmitted across wireless networks, by small machines piloted from hidden bunkers. War has become a contest not only of armies, but of minds. The Ukrainian drone strike against the Russian boat in the Black Sea will be remembered not for the size of the battle, but for what it represented. It proved that innovation could level the playing field. It showed that courage could overcome fleets, and it reminded the world that the future of war belongs not to the biggest guns, but to the smartest strategies. As the wreckage drifted in the water and as the video spread across screens worldwide, one truth became undeniable. The battlefield of tomorrow is already here. When history tells the story of this war, perhaps it will not be the grand fleets or the massive tanks that are remembered. Instead, it may be the small, buzzing, unmanned drones, silent until their final explosive dive, that are remembered as the true game changers. This has been Delta History.